hear you. Can't hear you at all. I can't hear you. I don't know if people are saying in the chat they can't hear you. Can people hear me? Can people hear Brian? Can't hear you at all, Sim. So apparently people in the comments said I'm on a delay and they can't hear you.
Hello? Oh, Brian's just disappeared.
Now I can hear you. Now I can hear
All
you.
right, Brian can hear me. Can everyone hear me now? Can everyone hear me? Is everyone in the chat? Is the audio now working? Can we go ahead with this stream? Can we have a stream talking about Spurs? Let me know in the chat. Can you hear me? Frozen in time, someone says. What are we saying, chat? Am I audible? We can hear you. Hey, all right.
I can hear you loud and clear. It's good.
I can hear you. You can hear me. Brian, how are we doing today? Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for coming on, mate. Are you all right?
As you know, Simeon, I've got my ongoing health issues are getting worse, unfortunately, but I had to be up early today. It's Mothering Sunday here in North America. I don't know why the days are different. So today I'm going for a pedicure, so I had to get up nice and early for a pedicure later. So, and of course, mate, they're actually banging, I have to say. But yes, but most importantly, I got to spend time with you and the people at We Are Tottenham TV. So looking forward to this.
I know you got ongoing health issues, which we all obviously wish you all the best for. Did 3 points ease it that tiny little bit? Could you forget about it for 90 minutes yesterday?
Near the end, yes. The performance wasn't brilliant. We got the win, unless people are happy about that. Obviously, we're going to break this down and go into details. But listen, a win is a win, and it ends the drought. So you got to be happy with the win.
Yeah, Brian does seem to be in a bit of a delay. I don't know what we can do about that. For some reason, the audio is coming out at a different time to your mouth. I don't know why that is. It's a bit odd. It's not like it seems okay in terms of I can talk to you, but I don't know why there's a bit of a delay. People are mentioning it. But I don't know. I don't know what we can do about that because you've already rejoined, so it's not that issue. I don't know if it's our end or not. I don't know. Just to let the people go on.
I was about to say, just hopefully it will sort itself out.
Yeah, let's see. Just to let the people know, if you haven't already, the teams are currently out on the pitch at Wembley in the FA Cup final. Women's FA Cup final about to kick off in 5 minutes' time. So we'll keep you updated with everything going on at Wembley. Ben is currently in the stadium. He's going to be living the atmosphere and trying to capture moments. Let's hope Spurs can get some silverware, long-awaited silverware. Doesn't matter who gets it. Even if it's the women's team, they'll be just as great if the men's team get it. So let's hope. It's a great showing against Man United in the FA Cup final. Before we get into yesterday's game, we've got a Tottenham update to go through. We've got some news that has been circulating over the past 24 hours. So I guess we'll get into that and then we'll go into yesterday's game. And yeah, we will keep you updated with everything going on in the Women's FA Cup final. So, all right, let's start with the Tottenham update. One sec. Is that the right headline? I don't know. One sec, guys. We'll get up in a minute. The flags are out at Wembley at the moment. Seems like quite an atmosphere. I think Man United are favourites. But what do you reckon, Brian? Are Tottenham taking it home today?
I really, really hope so. I really, really hope so. They've done incredible to get there. And I mentioned when I was just on Andrew Management on my channel, I saw a post on, I think it was Facebook or Twitter today, where it was the first ever Spurs ladies goalkeeper who says she remembers when she started where the women had to pay to play in the women's league and do everything, and to see the development of the women's game and especially Tottenham Hotspur women's team to now see it representing in a final in a packed Wembley. It's a wonderful sight to see, and hopefully the women can show the men how it's done.
Definitely. The car is currently handshakes at the moment. Kickoff is just moments away at Wembley, so let's hope the women can do us proud today, I should say, and take home the trophy. Very, very exciting. Are we ready for the update? All right, let's get into the update. and then we'll get into yesterday's game. So the first update we're going to be talking about is Mickey van der Ven, and the official supporters club yesterday voted for Mickey van der Ven as the club's player of the season. He was also voted One Hotspur player of the season and Junior One Hotspur player of the season. Obviously capped that off yesterday with a brilliant winner to give Spurs all 3 points, and a brilliant goal was taken like a season striker yesterday. But yeah, really brilliant for Van der Ven in his first season to be crowned player of the year, and I think that's good reward for what has been a stellar year for him in his first season in the Premier League.
Yeah, I mean, if I could have made a vote, it would have been him hands down. I think this guy is just simply magnificent. He's been outstanding, and he's only going to get better. He's only going to get better. And I think it was Jonathan Pearce that was doing Match of the Day commentary. And he even said, could you imagine if he hadn't missed the games that he missed? Because we saw the defence and the way we played suffered highly without him. It's been a magnificent first season and richly deserved, in my opinion. Richly deserved.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think, obviously, he did have that 3-month injury, but in terms of when he's been available on the pitch, how many bad games does he have had? I think you literally point at Newcastle game, and then that's pretty much it. I think then there's a full stop after that game in terms of poor games. Other than that, he's pretty much been like a 7 out of 10 or higher in every other game, and he's been so consistent. He's had so much work to do as well in that back line. So really, really fantastic first season. I think definitely deserved that Player of the Year award. Next story we're going to be talking about is Richarlison, and according to Riaf Al-Samari of the Daily Mail, Al Hilal will move to sign Richarlison this summer. They have made an inquiry in January after Neymar's knee injury. No formal approach has followed, but the deal is in the pipeline. Al Hilal are privately confident they can secure a deal for the 27-year-old. Ryan Taylor from the Daily Mirror has said that Tottenham are considering a new striker as a priority amid doubts over Richarlison's long-term future at the club, with the Brazilian attracting interest from Saudi Arabia. Obviously, he did pick up an injury yesterday, which meant he his season ended fairly early. He has scored 11 goals in 18 starts this season, so I think when it comes to seasons, he's done quite well this season. It does seem as though there's increasing doubts over his future, doesn't there? And I think when it comes to this, it just something tells me there's no smoke without fire, and the Saudi talk is not going away, is it? And so I feel like if Tottenham were adamant of keeping him, then this would be a non-starter. But it just seems as though there is something in the pipeline here, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke to you and Ben about this a few weeks ago, didn't I? I think this is done. I think this is behind the scenes. It's signed, sealed, pretty much delivered. And Richarlison will be heading to the Saudi Arabia League this summer. I like him as a player. Like, obviously, you and I were in the studio together when we were discussing this deal actually coming about. And it showed this season he had a little purple patch, and it showed with the right service and in the right form, he can be an incredible asset. The big problem I have with him going now is we are very, very short in strikers, and we need established strikers or someone that can come and fill the void. It's just not worked out for him with his fitness. And yeah, I think this is a done deal already, and I wish Richarlison nothing but the best in his future, because Richarlison the person is a wonderful human being. I praise and commend him for coming out and speaking about his mental health. People know my history and how much I endorse that. And yeah, I think the time has come where this is a done deal, but he will be sorely missed by me.
Definitely. I think if we can get our money back, obviously, for him, I think it is a pretty good deal. I think then it allows Tottenham a bit more manoeuvrability in the market to get players who are really suited to the system. I think Richarlison's obviously done well for Ange, and I do think, if he was fit for a whole season, he could be a 20-goal-a-season striker, potentially. I just do have question marks over his overall quality, and sometimes he does things which, there are players out there, for example, who have a bit better hold-up play, a bit more quality when they get the ball to feet. They keep it a lot more. They don't give it away as much as Richarlison. But look, Richie has impressed me with his ability in front of goal, his first touch finishing, which is very, very difficult to do. So, look, if he is still here next season, I'm not going to be against that. But I do think if we can get our money back at this point, it's probably best for everyone if Rishi is happy to move on. But it is interesting if because a lot depends on where we see Son next season. Because if we see Son as a left winger, which obviously in recent weeks he's been quite good in that position. If we see him as a left winger, then do we need 2 strikers in the summer potentially? Which would definitely, and that's going to be a lot of money depending on who is. But if we do see Son as a striker predominantly, then we'll probably only need 1 striker in the summer. So I think Andrew's got some big decisions right about where we see Sonny next season.
Yeah, I mean, I pray to God that I hope Tottenham Hotspur see Heung-min Son as a left winger next season, or at least playing from the left. Either way, even if we saw him as a striker, we still need 2. We still need 2 because obviously we're going to be short on the left. So at least you have the option to put Son left if Tottenham see him as a striker. But we definitely listen. The way I'm looking at this is reminding me now of when we sold Keane and Berbatov in the same season. We're just doing it now a season apart with Kane and Ritchie. And we'll leave ourselves very, very light in the recognised striker department. And it needs to be addressed. It needs to be addressed. And 2 definitely need to come in if Richarlison is to leave this football club, which I believe he is.
Yeah, and that's a lot of money. Plus, you probably want a winger on top of that as well. If we even with Son as a winger, you probably want another winger in there. So, yeah, I think a lot of decisions to be made in the summer for Ange. It'll be interesting to see where he's kind of leaning. One interesting deal that maybe is in the pipeline is Marcus Edwards, record in Portugal, saying that Marcus Edwards is keen on a Tottenham return this summer. The winger is eager to return to London, and Spurs retain a 35% sell-on clause. Sporting have begun looking for potential replacements already. I do wonder if this is just paper talk, if there's genuine interest on Tottenham's side for Marcus Edwards to return to Spurs. Obviously, would be homegrown. I do think there is a good player in there. Whether there is a consistent player, I think, is the question mark. Obviously, he's done quite well for Sporting when he's been there. He hasn't been a goal contribution machine, but he definitely has quality. Obviously, he did score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, didn't he, the Champions League last season with a really good effort from outside the box. Is he a kind of winger you'd be excited about, or do you think maybe it's only a deal we're interested in because we have that clause and he might be a cheap homegrown option?
It's a bit of both, in all honesty, Simi. But the thing that's puzzling me with this, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure within the PORRO deal we sacrificed some of that percentage of a buyback clause or whatever it was. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sure there was something at the last minutes that got the deal done. That was some of that. Maybe the percentage was dropped. Who knows? I liked Marcus Edwards when he was at Spurs, but obviously it came out about his attitude and his application. Maybe he has matured with his time away, and that isn't so much a factor. He is a very, very exciting player on his day, and he has shown it in Portugal. Don't forget, he played very well against us in Lisbon as well. So he had a very good couple of games ago about us. But do I think this has got something to do with the homegrown trained and everything for Europe as well? Yeah, I obviously do, but I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back at all. But I think this does have a bit of, like you said, there's a deal to be done. And if we didn't have the buyback clause or whatever it may be, will it have been an option? I don't know. But I do like him as a player.
I think you can hear that Jaws music of Daniel Levy circling, I think, when it comes to this kind of deal, that's for sure. I do think he's an exciting player. I do think he's got pace. He's got a very good left foot. But the problem is, I think he is now 25, I believe, years of age. Let me just check that out. I think he's 25. He's never really been a consistent performer. I mean, this season he's got 4 goals, 5 assists in 25 games, which is not bad, but it's not like a ratio that screams this guy is going to take it to the next level when he comes to the Premier League. He's at one of the top teams in Portugal who I think they're going to win the league 2 seasons in a row. So they've been dominant. and he's getting decent numbers, but not like numbers in a league which tells me that will translate to Premier League. Like, I feel like he might be a frustrating player in the Premier League. I don't know if he's got the physicality for it. So I think there are question marks. Obviously, if we do sign him, he could be a good, exciting deal, but I feel like there are better options out there than Marcus Edwards for me. I think we could spend a bit more money and get a much better quality player than, go for Marcus Edwards, where I just get the feeling that he's going to be a player which frustrates us more than anything, in my opinion. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Next story comes from Footy Insider, who's obviously not the best source, but they're saying on Ivan Toney, Brentford would demand 50 million to sell Tottenham target Ivan Toney this summer. Spurs are expected to have a free run at the striker as previous interest from Arsenal and Chelsea has eased. West Ham may compete for his signing, but he prefers a move to Spurs. I do think Toney would be a player who fits our system. I do like his profile. I think, as much as it's been a struggle for him since returning from his ban to, score the amount of goals he scored before, I still think he's actually played quite well in spurts in that run. And there's obviously he's had a few injuries, but there are big question marks about his attitude and about his character, I should say, with various videos circulating about him being defamatory against Brentford, him constantly saying that Brentford is not a team he wants to be at, and he wants a high ceiling. But maybe is that not just the sign of an ambitious player? What do you think about Ivan Toney?
I'm so torn with how I feel on him. Listen, on his day, he's devastating. He's lethal. He is a proven Premier League goal scorer. He had a great season last season, or the season before the ban kicked in. He was on fire. He can be a very good striker, but then you mention all the things like he's done when he was on holiday and mentioned him. But I don't like that kind of stuff. I don't. If we want a guy to put the ball in the back of the net, does Ivan Toney do a job for Tottenham Hotspur? I think the answer is yes. I think it's yes, he does. Obviously, you can't knock his penalty taking. I mean, heaven forbid Tottenham get a penalty to take at the moment. But I think he will score goals in a Tottenham Hotspur football shirt. Do I think? Would I want him? I don't know. But if he's about, I don't believe Tottenham have a free run at him. That's the one thing I don't believe. A player like him comes on the market. I think it's the final year of his contract as well. With it, there's going to be people that are sniffing around Ivan Toney for sure. Would I want another striker? Probably, but is there doubting that he would do well in a Tottenham Hotspur shirt? I don't think so. I think he would exceed in us. I think he'd do very well at Tottenham.
Do you think Arsenal and Chelsea are going to be seriously interested in him?
No, the one that keeps nagging away at me, and I think they might be West Ham. I really do. I think West Ham, and you look what they've been doing recently when they looked at Ward-Prowse with Kudus, they will spend the money now. And if he's about, they may just well come and do it. Again, it all depends on Lopetegui. If Lopetegui does officially, I don't think we've got the here we go that he is the manager yet, have we? It all depends who comes in. But I think if Ivan Toney is going to be available, there will be more than Tottenham Hotspur going for it. And West Ham would be the one that I would think. I mean,
would we
if
not
Arsenal
be the front
come in, I
runners?
don't think we stand a chance.
Would we not be the front runners if it's just between us and West Ham?
You would think so. You would think so. As club-wise, you would think so. Then it will come down to, it depends how quickly the deal will get done, how the deal will get done. We'd have to wait and see. You would want to think, Simeon, that Tottenham Hotspur would be favourites to sign him over West Ham. But we'll have to wait and see. And again, it depends if Spurs really are, if this is paper talk, and Spurs really want him. It could be another Paratici smokescreen.
You're right. And the last story comes from Alan Nixon out in Italy, and they're saying that Napoli want to sign Dragusin this summer. However, Tottenham would want 40 million for the defender. Apparently, given his lack of playing time, he might be open to a fresh start already in the summer, and Tottenham might be willing to let him go if we get what would be, I guess, a £10 million profit on him this summer. That would be quite a stark move, I guess, if he was to move so soon after coming to Tottenham without really getting the proper opportunity. Do you understand if he is that frustrated, he'd be willing to move so soon, or do you think this is just a bit of talk and, you know, he'll definitely be here next season?
I think it's the latter. I think it's the latter. But if it ends up being the former, then I have extreme issues about what this club is doing again. Because why buy him in the first place? Just whether he got first team minutes, whatever. What was the point in having this chase with Bayern Munich? What was the point of wasting that time when you go and get a player that would? It will give me, and people will start talking about this big change in the summer, and there's going to be so many. I wouldn't have thought Dragusin, who's just come in, would have been one of the players we're needing to replace. And then that makes our defence light again. And we talk about a striker and a winger. That'll mean we need not only a striker and a winger, or two strikers and a winger. That'll be a left centre back and a right centre back needed as well before we even address the midfield. So I'm really hoping this is paper talk. Listen, we know what Dragusin's agent's like. Yeah. Could he be putting petrol on a fire? Yes, he could. But I don't think this. I'm hoping this is a non-starter. I really do.
Do you think he starts on Tuesday with Van de Ven left back, considering how we ended the game? And maybe he has a bit of a timely end of the season. What I'll say, and we'll discuss this obviously when we break in more into the match. We did this against Burnley, and no offence to Burnley or no disrespect, they're not Manchester City. Can Van de Ven play left back against Man City? I think he can do whatever he wants against whoever he wants. But does that leave the mid defence exposed with two right-sided defenders without the pace that Van de Ven brings? Yes, I think it does, especially with Haaland running through. So can he play that position? Yes. Do I want to see him play that position against Man City? Not really. But like you said, could that be an option for Ange? Yeah, definitely. And I hope so. I'd rather see that than what we have been seeing. So it is an option. All right, well, look, that is it for your Tottenham update. Let me know in the comment section below everything we have discussed today. Before we move on, it's 11 minutes gone in the FA Cup final, still 0-0. There's been a couple of openings on either side. Man United forcing a save out of the Spurs keeper. Spurs had a couple of chances the other way as well. It's currently a corner to Man United on top at the moment. Brian, you do have a delay, I have to say, on your audio. So maybe just try logging in, logging out and see if that makes any sort of difference. And just give it one more go. Otherwise, we'll carry on. Obviously, we can talk to you, but we'll just see if we can get rid of that delay. So I'll give you a bit of, while Brian does that, let's give you a bit of commentary on the women's game for now. So Man United do have a corner at the moment. They've crossed it into the back post. There's a header. Oh, my word. The number 28 Williams for Man United with a really, really big opportunity there to make it 1-0, just wide. Man United probably being on top. Oh, it's a good header, but it's just wide of the post. The Tottenham keeper was scrambling a bit. It's going to be a goal kick, but they're definitely pressing high at the moment, Man United. Goal kick to Spurs, playing it short out the back. They're going to go long. It's headed on by, I think it was by Beth England. Here comes Spurs, breaking away. Let's see, ball over the top to the left-hand side. To the number 13. Let me see if I can get the names up. I'm not the best with women's football, unfortunately. Let me see. It's on the right-hand side now. Spurs still in possession. Here we are. Oh, they don't even have the bloody names here. All right, here's Beth England. It's a good ball to the right-hand side. Come on, get a ball in. Chance to the back post, a header just over the bar. Good football from Tottenham, though. Chance to the back post. Headed over. Really presentable opportunity. Has Brian been added back here? Is he not?
No, he's not joined back yet.
He's not come back yet. Okay. Maybe we've lost Brian. It was Vinberg, I believe, at the back post there, heading over the bar. Good opportunity. Good football from Tottenham. Now they're pressing high on Blundell. It's going to be a throw-in. And it's a free kick to Man United. They've taken it quickly. No, referee says, wait. I think I can hear Brian now.
This video is not coming up.
I'll give it a sec. All right, long ball forward. Out of play for a Spurs throw. Thrown to Tottenham inside their own half. Nilden to take it. Here he is. Let's see if this will... Hello, Brian. Oh, now I can't hear him. I can hear something, though.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, and there's no delay. Come on, Brian. Come on.
Modern technology at its finest.
Fantastic. We're just watching here the Women's Cup final at the moment. Still 0-0. Spurs are playing some nice football, though. I don't know if you've been keeping tabs out of the game. But they've been doing some good stuff.
I've got it on BBC iPlayer, Sim, but I think I might have a slight delay. What time are you showing exactly in the final?
16:20 now. Oh, there's a bad mistake at the back, but it's just
15.
15.
Behind you.
You're about a minute behind. All right, no spoilers. But it's currently.
If the Tottenham winning, spoil me rotten.
All right, I'll let you know. Yeah, still 0-0, but some good football being played here by the women. Let's hope they can go on and lift the trophy here. Well, let me just wait to the end of this attack. They've played the ball forward to the right-hand side. Is it going to go out of play? It will. All right. Welcome back to the stream, Brian. Lovely to have you back. Without further ado, let's chat about yesterday's game. We'll get into the match review for yesterday. Obviously, the 2-1 win against Burnley in what was a night. Well, I'm about to say a nice way to cap off the season. It felt like a season ender yesterday, but we do have another home game, obviously on Tuesday, which has now got increased 1 minute. Spurs are in behind. Oh, it's just over the top. It wasn't the best display, was it, Brian? Yesterday, we did end up getting the win, getting that 2-1 win. But it was just a very similar pattern, wasn't it, to a lot of our home games, especially in recent weeks against some of the teams in the bottom half of the table. Poor first half where we could easily be losing and we can see lots of opportunities and we miss a few chances and we look a bit lackluster and we're not really on our game. And then second half, we dominated. We probably didn't really give Burnley too much in that second half and we pummeled them and we made that pressure tell late in the game. But it was a very familiar pattern from games earlier in the season, wasn't it? What did you make out of in terms of what you saw yesterday? Did you think we deserved the win? Were you happy with that, or do you think we got lucky?
I'm happy we got the win, but I think we're fortunate. Listen, when you were saying about the first half, I saw a stat yesterday and I couldn't believe it. Since the turn of the year, a Tottenham Hotspur player has not scored the first goal at home in 2024. We got obviously we got an own goal against Nottingham Forest, so not a Spurs player, and Højbjerg scored an own goal against the Filth. So technically, we're not talking. A Tottenham player hasn't scored the first goal at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in 2024, which is a horrifying stat, and it's concerning because we had second half Tottenham with Conte, didn't we? And it seems that we're doing it again with a different group of players in a different format. Like you said, it was a strange game where in the first half, there were bits that were bright, but other parts were just poor. And we come alive in the second half. And when you look at it, our defenders are getting us out of jail. which is another
They are.
concerning thing to be worried about. I mean, it's brilliant that Porro and Van der Ven and Romero have been contributing goals, but it's not really their job, and they've been the ones getting us out of jail. So just happy we got the win. Just delighted we could actually end that drought and get 3 points.
Yeah, in terms of that first half, obviously a few things that happened that a few people were calling for. Obviously, Skip did start at left back. Decky started at left wing. Obviously, Sarr came back in the team. Madison came back in the team. But what did you feel? What did you think of Decky on the left? Which, you know, I for one haven't been really excited about that prospect, but a lot of people have been calling for him to be given a go on that side. I felt he looked really uncomfortable there. He didn't really want to go on the outside. He didn't want to use his pace and take people on the outside. But how did you feel it went for him? Would you want to see that experiment persisted with, or what did you think of it?
I'm very happy that we're talking about Dejan Predictabiliski straight away. I have to say, Kulusevski is one of the players you and me have often disagreed on or seen the game differently when we're watching it together. I put a tweet on Spurs' Twitter when they said that, and I said, seeing him in the starting 11 is mind-boggling to me. It really is. I don't understand. Especially after that Liverpool performance. But fair play, we tried him something different. We tried him on the left, and he still tried to cut in on his right this time. He put in that one good cross for Johnson, where Johnson was a good save by the keeper. And then he did what he's been doing recently, which is run around a lot, give away needless fouls, and excuse me, and be very predictable. I think when we signed him under Conte and when he played in the Conte system that first 6 months, breath of fresh air and devastating and incredible and fit. That guy was designed for that system. He is not designed for Ange Postecoglou's system. He just simply isn't. We tried him in the centre, we tried him on the right, we tried him on the left, and unfortunately he just can't do the job that is required. I think he's still a good player, a very good player, but there's certain players that fit certain systems, and Dejan Kulusevski does not fit the system and the style of football we're trying to play, and I think he needs a move. I think he needs a move to a club that will play style of football, and he will bring in some funds that will be available to Ange. So as much as I like him and enjoyed seeing him in the first season, I just don't see him ever being able to fit into an Ange Postecoglou system.
See, I see it differently. First of all, yesterday he was terrible in the first half. I thought he looked very uncomfortable playing on that left-hand side. I didn't think he wanted to do what was required of a winger on that side. I actually thought when he moved over to the right, he was a different player. I thought he looked a lot more comfortable there, and he looked a lot better, and he was actually a lot more threatening once he moved over to the right-hand side. I still think he's got a lot to give. I think this season, I thought he started off the season really, really strongly, in my opinion, and it's really tailed off quite badly, unfortunately. To be fair, a lot of our team. No, I don't think he's the only one, but he definitely has tailed off, and that is frustrating because I thought in the first half of the season, I actually think he was doing a very underrated job for the team. And actually, the numbers are quite good. I think it was 6 goals and 3 assists in his first 15 games or so. So he was quite effective. And then he's tailed off quite badly. But I actually like the fact that don't get me wrong, I think we probably need another winger in that position. But I do like that he offers us something different. I do like the fact that what he offers is different to what Brennan offers, or what a winger with searing pace who loses the ball maybe more often offers. I think he can keep the ball really well, and we saw even against Arsenal how effective he can be. I thought he played really, really well that game, and I think a lot of his work goes under the radar. I think a lot of people criticise him when he's maybe not getting goals and assists, but I think he does a lot of good work for the team, which I think Ange appreciates. The question is, where is his best position? That is a good question in this system. I just see him as a versatile player who can play multiple positions rather than someone who can't play either position, if you know what I mean. I think he can be effective in the centre. He can be effective on the right. It depends what the game calls for, and where he's at the moment. So for me, I wouldn't look to sell him. I do think if a really good offer comes in, depending on what kind of offer it is, I would consider it. But I think that for me, the party line should be he's not for sale at the moment, because I do think he's a very good player. And I do think as well, he's a player I can see moving on and doing fantastically as somewhere else, and would regret selling him just because at a certain moment in time he hasn't been playing well. I think people get he could be very frustrating, I think, Decky, because he gets himself in a lot of good positions and sometimes doesn't do enough with it. But I just feel like the good he does outweighs the bad, in my opinion. And I think a lot of the good he does is maybe not as easy to point to. And I feel like I think we miss him when he doesn't play. I feel like a lot of the time. I feel like when he doesn't play, I think we give the ball away too much, and I think we do miss him a bit. So I would want to keep him. I don't think he needs a move, but I understand, people looking for an attacker who needs to be a bit more effective. I kind of get that. So I'm not completely saying I rule out a move completely, but it has to be at a good price. I wouldn't sell him cheaply, essentially, is what I'm saying.
Put it this way, so you look at it, you're talking about how we play different when he's off. I think we play better once he went off. Now, don't get me wrong, there was a triple substitution, so it wasn't just him that went off, and it's not, okay, there was a single sub, so we played better because Kulusevski was off. But we certainly look more attacking. We certainly look more dangerous once Kulusevski and the other, I can't remember who he went off with at the same time, but I think Basuma, I think we looked a lot better once that triple substitution was ready. And listen, I know what you're saying. I think some of his hold-up play has been brilliant and is bringing up from the ball. But the other thing I'll add is I think as well, I don't know if you agree, I think some of this downfall in his form as well has come out since that interview that everyone spoke very, very highly of. And when he came out and spoke a lot, his form there's been a drastic dip since that time as well. I'm not saying they're linked, but there has been definitely a drop in form for him. And like you said, I think if he goes to another team and plays in a similar system to what Conte asked, he will excel. He will absolutely excel. But you're saying not sell. I look at it as if we are going to sell, we look at some players that are in the last year of their contract and we'll just try and move them on cheap or for whatever we can. Kulusevski could bring in a good chunk of change, which could go on to buy someone that can do what Ange's asking and make the team stronger. So I understand why some people want to keep him, but for me, I just don't see it working. I think he needs a change just as much to benefit him as we need a player that can play Ange's system.
That's fair enough. Yeah, so look, in terms of the game though, yesterday, obviously, yeah, we'll talk about Decky. That first half was really frustrating. I thought, obviously, Burnley had a couple of really big openings. Obviously, first of all, the goal, which I thought our defending for that was atrocious. I think Sander Berge was able to ride 3 challenges, Meikle challenges. To be fair, I think he did get a bit lucky because Johnson did get back on him and did win the ball, but didn't fall to a Spurs player. But then I thought, I can't remember who else challenged him. I think it was Porro challenged him. Sarr challenged him, and I thought they were both weak challenges. They could have done a lot better. And then we were opened up like the Red Sea with Bryn Larson was able to get in behind Ollie Skip with getting the run on him, and obviously it was a good finish. They also had that header at the back post, which is a consistent problem, isn't it? That back post. Every single time a team gets a crossing position, they have. I did a freeze frame on that moment when they get the cross in, and Porro is marking 2 players at that back post, and that is a consistent problem with this defending. I think against Liverpool, pretty much all 4 goals came from back post chances. You look at the Chelsea game, the first goal came from another back post. Like, it's a consistent problem with us, and that for me is not something like when I look at that problem, like. When we're talking about Ange's philosophy and Ange's way of playing, unless, like, I don't see him doing anything to rectify that issue. Like, we're consistently overloaded in the back post and teams are consistently making chances out of that. Now, Is that something that we're going to change down the line? Like, are we going to change the tactics a bit so, we get an extra body in the back so we start, not being outnumbered in that position? Or is a midfielder, like a winger, going to be tracking all the way back so we're not being overloaded? Or is this just a quirk of Ange's system where if you get at the back post, there are going to be chances, but hopefully during the course of the game, that won't happen too often and we'll outscore you? Like, I'm really starting to worry about that situation because that seems to be something which is consistently happening. We're consistently conceding chances from it. And yet that it seems as though Ange is okay with it. Ange is okay with that happening.
Yep. He does. And listen, like you said with Pie in the Red Sea, I likened it to like a hot knife through butter. It's been too easy, too simple to get to our back line and through on goal. What I will say with Porro and Skippy, and obviously Skippy, people were putting a lot of fault for the goal, but as well as others because of his not getting back. But you know what? I saw it on, I don't know if it was on Twitter or some social media site, and it made me think as well. And they were bang on right. People were trying to say Ollie Skip was at fault for the goal because it wasn't Ollie Skip's fault. And the reason I say it's not Ollie Skip's fault, Destiny Udogie was told to do this. All the left backs and the right backs have been told to push up and give that space. So, as Postecoglou said with Basuma against Man City, he said, I'm asking the players to do this. I'm asking the players to do this. Ollie was just doing what Ange Postecoglou had instructed him to do. But doing this is making the back post, when they're attacking down the other flanks, very, very, very open. And there's only so much you can do. And is this going to change after the summer window when Ange has more of the players he wants in? You can only hope so. But it is concerning, Simi, like you said, that this is a repeated issue over and over again, and we just don't seem to address it. We just don't seem, as you watch him week in, week out. I will say the last couple of games, it does look like we worked on set pieces. It does look like there's been an improvement slightly there, and it's not been every single set piece kamikaze defending. So it does look like they've done something, but now it seems to be, now you need to work on the back post because that is becoming a cause for concern, like you said.
It's been a problem for me all season since day one, that back post. And I don't know whether that's just the quirk of how Ange wants to play, is that we're going to be vulnerable there. No system is perfect. Or are we doing something wrong, which is causing us to be continually vulnerable there? That's what I can't work out at the moment when it comes to that. But, they got a good chance from that, and Vicario had to make a brilliant save to keep us. It was at 0-0 at the time. And look, we did get back in the game for a brilliant goal from Porro. And to be fair, we did concede chances, but we had chances as well. Johnson at the back post should have scored, really, shouldn't he? And there was also a bit of a thing yesterday where Burnley kept making mistakes, yet we didn't take advantage of it. Happened a number of times where the goalkeeper would make some mistakes in our third. We would win it high up the pitch with really good opportunities to create plentiful chances, and we didn't take full advantage of them whatsoever. And I wonder if that's just something where if the team is high on confidence, we would that would be different, and we would take advantage of those. Is it a quality issue in the front line where they're not good enough to take full advantage? But that was definitely something, because Johnson had that chance where he won it high up and then he didn't square it. He tried to go for the near post, which I thought was quite clever, but he just couldn't pull it off, unfortunately, and he hit the side netting. Kulu had a similar one in the second half where he picked the ball up inside the penalty area, but his finish was weak as well. So what do you put that down to, the fact that we can't seem to take full advantage of the mistakes that we're forcing?
So first of all, what I will say is I came on the fan show yesterday and actually said I think the Burnley goalkeeper played very well. I got that wrong, as in his distribution was shambolic, but there was a couple of saves, like the one from Sarr, that he did make, that were very, very good saves. This is a problem. I think I sent you on WhatsApp. The stats showed that we had 5 big chances, and we missed or didn't take advantage of all 5, which is a concern, because chances were given to us, and even in the games that we've lost in the last 4, we have had opportunities, but we just haven't been ruthless enough. And it is a cause for concern, because if we were punishing these opportunities, we may have got Champions League, we may have been in a much better position, a healthier position. So it is another cause for concern. And I wanted to mention when you said the set pieces and back post, Ange Postecoglou has obviously come out and mentioned that he's going to change his staff as well. As well as the managerial staff. I think that's going to be very, very telling to see if he is addressing certain things. But yeah, not taking those opportunities yesterday was a concern, because if it had been a better team, they would have punished us for not taking those chances.
Definitely. To be fair, obviously we did get the goal through Porro. Brilliant a hammer strike from the near post, and then you know, we go into the second half 1-1. And I thought, to be fair, for the whole second half, you know, I thought we moved Decky back over to the right. And I thought we dominated, to be honest. I thought Burnley had barely any opportunities compared to the first half. We penned them in. We created lots and lots of chances. I did think we probably looked a bit better once we moved Johnson back to the right, put Scarlett on, moved Son to the left, got Bentancur on as well. And then all of a sudden, we looked a lot fresher. Maybe it was because we were playing against tired legs. Burnley also had to come out of it because they knew that unless they got a winner, they were going to be relegated. So they had to maybe open up a bit and, you know, cause a bit more... they had to cause a bit more caution throw a bit more caution to the wind. But we did look good for the last half an hour, created lots of opportunities. And what did you feel like? You know, we got a really good look at Scarlett for those last 20 minutes. We created lots of opportunities. Son on the left as well was providing lots of threat. What did you feel? Did you feel like that winner was definitely coming in the last 20 minutes?
Yeah, it looked that way, Sim. And I've got to say, as soon as Son went on the left, he looked a different player in the game. He looked more comfortable. He looked more dangerous. Dane Scarlett, who I've obviously been on this channel, spoken, said I'm a fan of, came on. I think he had a very big impact, both doing his work responsibly, defensive-wise, and getting back and winning free kicks, as well as showing great intelligence and awareness and making the space for Van der Ven to score the winner. And also could have had a goal if that cross had just been a little bit better near the end. And he looked a threat. He looked a threat for the brief time he came on. And you know what? For the last two, I would love to say for Man City, he starts up front with Son on the left and whoever you want to play on the right. I really would, because I think Son will have a lot more. When Dane Scarlett has played in the previous years, when he's played in the Europa League or the Conference League, it may have been, he's been playing with not the A team around him, so we haven't been able to see him. Let's see him get some minutes with the first teamers around him, the Madisons, the Sons, and let's see what he can do, because I was very impressed with Scarlett when he came on. Very impressed.
Yeah, I thought he definitely looked a threat. If it wasn't for some last gasp defending from Burnley, he definitely could have had a goal or two with some of his runs. I was also, I wouldn't say frustrated, but I did think there was a few moments where the ball comes into him and he gave it away sloppily, and there was a moment where he had a chance to shoot on his left foot and he delayed it and ended up trying to go on his right, and the chance was gone. But I definitely felt just his presence was causing more problems for Burnley than what Son was doing. Obviously, the difference was Son was kind of coming deep to collect the ball, wasn't he? Whereas Scarlett was kind of pinning the back a bit and asking a different question of them. So I did think it was a positive impact as much. I don't think individually he did too much great, but I just think his presence definitely impacted the game, and his different kind of movements was definitely asking different questions of the Burnley backline. And obviously we did end up getting that winner late in the game, and that was when Van der Ven moved to left back and he makes that run inside and he finished it. I have to say, I've seen it back. That is like someone on Twitter called it a Haaland-esque finish. I mean, that is right in the corner, very little backlift as well. How he manoeuvred his body to get that left foot strike as well, and a brilliant first touch to cut inside as well from Van der Ven. That was really a finish of a £50 million striker, wasn't it? I mean, unbelievable. Coupled that with his finish against Forest, and maybe he's got more ability in that left foot than we gave him credit for.
Oh, without doubt. I mean, as a fellow left-footer myself, I appreciate left-footed players, but like I said, the awareness, the intelligence, and the ability, most importantly, to move and pivot onto his left and put it there. was brilliant. It was like a De Bruyne, Cole Palmer, like a cultured striker of the ball, putting it away, and it was in the one place the keeper couldn't get to it. And I didn't know. Someone mentioned it today on my show that at Wolfsburg he occasionally played striker, not as a starting striker. So he has got, and it also explains the way he scored that goal against Forest, because that wasn't a centre back's finish. That was an incredible finish. He's just a magnificent player. And you know what I'm loving about him? He is loving life at Tottenham. He is loving the attention he's getting from the fans. The commentator said this is why we love him. This is why they love him, or why he's so loved here. He's just a joy to behold. He is just remarkable. And the scary thing is he's only going to get better than what he is now. And if that's what we've seen in the first season, my God, next season I can't wait. He's just I love him.
Yeah, he's been astonishing. And obviously he played that last 20 minutes of left back. I thought he did a good job. I thought it wasn't just the goal. I thought he was doing some really good underlapping runs into the box. He was providing a threat down the left-hand side. And with that ability he has with that left foot, he clearly has ability to, contribute in the final third as well, it seems. And just the way he took that goal with the composure and the finish, and as well, he had so little backlift. I don't know how he got the power to get that into the corner. If you watch it, but the finish again, the power he gets and the curl right into the corner, it really is astonishing how he was able to pull that off for a centre-back. I don't see any centre-back being able to do that. And the way he touched it inside as well, it was just a phenomenal strike. And it just begs the question what he can't do, Mickey van der Ven, with the quality he has. So I'm super excited about what he's got to offer. I would personally play him at left back based on that on Tuesday, to be honest, because I feel like, well, obviously depending on if we want to win the game or not, but I would play him at left back. I think that would give us the best chance of getting a result, in my opinion, based on what I'm seeing from him, because I do think he would also maybe not play it in the same way. He would probably cover the back line a bit more if he was playing left back. So I thought that was a really good experiment, and I thought it did really he did really well there. And I thought Dragusin obviously did all right when he came on as well. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of team he plays on Tuesday. But in terms of the overall picture, look, it was a good win. I don't think you can learn too much from the game itself, personally, but it was good to get the 3 points, albeit we have kind of struggled in a way when you look at it now this season. Sheffield United, the three teams who were going down, Sheffield United at home, we were 1-0 down and we had to score 2 late winners. Luton at home, 1-0 down and we had to score a goal with 5 minutes to go from Son. And now Burnley at home, 1-0 down and we had to score a late goal again, this time from Mickey van der Ven. So definitely a pattern there, isn't there, Brian? Again, us against Bomb 3 hasn't been the easiest games this season, has it?
No, and just also add to that, me and Ben were there. We also went 1-0 down away at Burnley. Well, obviously, we then absolutely annihilated them, but we conceded first there. Luton, we went down with Basuma. We played 10 men. So it has definitely been a struggle to get the job done with these guys, apart from obviously the 5-2 away where we were exquisite. But again, it's been an issue there. There's certain things that we can take very, very positively out of this season. But things like you've just said that against the bottom 3 and taking 2 points out of 18 from Arsenal, Chelsea, West Ham, these are things that need to be worked on and improved. But like you said, it's the penultimate home game of the season. Thankfully, we got that winning feeling again. And lots to look forward to in the summer, but things need to be worked on.
All right, well, that is the match review. Spurs' 2-1 win against Burnley at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. At the moment, in the FA Cup final, 2 minutes to go till half-time, and it's still 0-0 at the moment. Spurs just had a promising attack broken down with the ball played to Beth England, but was just behind her. It's been quite an even game from what I've been seeing, but Man United now coming forward just before the break. Are they going to make an opportunity on the right-hand side? Into the penalty area. Good challenge, but a shot. Oh, it's scuffed. But it's going to fall to the back post, is it? They've kept it in. The chance is still there for Man United. Ball into the box. Blocked. Headed on and away. And I think the danger is gone, is it? Man United still on the attack. A shot from 25 yards, good defending from the Spurs ladies, getting the block in. I guess we'll take you to half-time, then we'll get into the player rating. So let's just see what's going on until the break. Man United still on the attack here.
Just to say, you're doing the commentary for me as well.
That's right, because, yeah, you're on delay. A long shot from 25 yards, well over the bar. Well, above from Laetitia. Is that Matt Letitier's daughter? There's a Laetitia there.
I actually don't think it. I think from what I remember seeing was saying, I actually don't think it is.
You don't think it's just a random Laetitia?
I don't think it is.
Oh, they're showing the big man on screen. They're showing the big man on screen, Brian. Look away. Look away.
Well, when you say big, they showed him before when I was restarting the computer. So yeah, 1 second. See, this is good that you can warn me. It's like you remember when I was doing the World Cup watch along. When I was doing the World Cup watch along with you, the snake came on the adverts. I had to turn around.
Yeah.
I've now got my hands in front of the tablet. So yes, I won't see him.
So I'm still warning you about the snakes. Is that what you're saying?
Basically. I should do the Poznan. I'll turn around and start doing the Poznan.
Brilliant. All right, 3 minutes of added on time here at Wembley. I should say. I'm about to say Tottenham Stadium. No, it's at Wembley. Still 0-0. Maybe this one is going to be heading to extra time. Who knows? It's very, very tight game at the moment. Also read some comments here. Gene D says, agreed, just start Dane versus City. I don't know whether that's because you want Spurs to lose or not, but next level English says, let's not forget that 6 points against Liverpool and City were incredibly fortunate. The result of the two worst decisions in PL history. Well, we only got 4 points, not 6, so it wasn't as many as you're saying.
Can I just say, I just wanted to watch it just to see him. So I just saw him, I just watched him, and I can tell you now, he was showing loads of passion and emotion, like he always. Honestly, you could put a Madame Tussauds whackworks of him, and it would show more emotion than that man, even at a final. But yeah, moving on to the comments.
1 sec, let me just. All right. Spurs on the attack here. No, it's broken down. Had Man United come away with it. About 90 seconds left of this half. Gene D says, no, I don't want Spurs to lose. So he's wanting Scarlett to play so we win. I do wonder how he'll do. Oh, bad mistake from the United keeper, who's the England #1, I believe. Here come Tottenham. They're in the penalty area. Can they whip it across? They're trying to play their way through. The attack's broken down. And the women come away with it, Man United women. And here they come. It's a breakaway, man. It's a good chance here for Man United if they can cover opportunity. Oh, it's a dancing, a shot from 25 yards, a goal. Man United have taken the lead right on the stroke of half-time. It's an unbelievable strike by the #7. I believe her name is... Let me get her name. The #7, Ella Toone. Oh, blockbuster of a goal. Right on the stroke of half-time. She cut inside on the edge of the box and fired it into the roof of the net. So it is 1-0 to Man United. A breakaway goal for Man United. And they do lead at Wembley 1-0. Oh, gutting for the Tottenham ladies. It was a really well-worked counter-attack by Man United, to be fair, but Spurs will be disappointed. No one really put a challenge in. She carried the ball all the way from the halfway line.
Simon, everyone who's watching.
Oh.
Everyone who's watching.
I tell you what.
Second half Tottenham.
I tell you what, it's right in the top corner. It's a fantastic strike. No keepers getting to that.
Oh, I've just seen it.
Oh, right into the corner. But the number, I think, Samanen will be disappointed. She kind of slid nowhere. Didn't get near Ella Toone. Gutting moment to concede as well, right on the stroke of half time. The Man United ladies have taken the lead. Sorry. Really, really gutting here. It's a great goal. And now Spurs have to pull something out of the bag if they're going to get back in this game. Need to create something. It is a throw-in. Still time maybe at the end of the half to get back in the game on the left wing. And it is a freaky. No, it's half-time at Wembley. Man United have made it pay. It is 1-0 to Man United at the break. Disappointment. Let's hope for a big second half from the Spurs ladies. All right, well, while it's half-time, let's get into the player ratings from Spurs for the Burnley game. And let's start with Vicario. I gave him a 6. Brian gave him a 7. Obviously, he made a crucial save right at the beginning of the game from, I think it was Lies Foster, who had a brilliant header at the back post, which he had to claw away one-handed. Don't think he'd have done much with the goal we conceded. And apart from that, didn't have too much to do. I feel like Burnley didn't really threaten him too much. A lot of their chances were off target. But I thought it was an astonishing save in that first half, so I gave him a 7 based off that.
Yeah, I mean, I gave him a 6. Always where they don't have a lot to do, obviously, I'll go straight down the line with a 5. But that was an incredible save from that header in the first half when it was 0-0 that we discussed. So, yeah, 6 for me.
Yeah, fair enough. I thought that big save was hopefully, quite a big moment in the game. Gene D says 8. Very much disagreeing with Brian. All right, next up, we'll go Pedro Porro. Both gave him a 7. Good performance from him, I felt. I did feel like he was disappointing for the goal. Poor challenge for Sander Berger, trying to get close to him, and I thought it was a weak challenge. But I thought he made up for it. Obviously, the goal he scored was phenomenal. I think he was a constant threat down that right-hand side. I thought he dealt with Burnley's threat as well, defensively pretty well. So I thought it was a solid display from Pedro Porro and a really nice goal as well.
Yeah, I mean, he scored twice now against Burnley, didn't he? With both screamers. And he looked very, very bright. He looked very, very bright. For the last few games, I don't think he's been that good going forward. And his passing hasn't been as great as we know it can be. And yesterday was certainly a return back to the Porro we know. And easy 7.
Yeah, easy 7. Next up, Van der Ven. We both gave him 8s. Another probably man of the match display from Van der Ven. I thought defensively he does so much great work. He did a very similar job in this one defensively, keeping Burnley quiet. And a few times that Burnley threatened to get him behind, he snuffed it out really impressively. And then he did move over to left back, where I felt like he was fantastic. He was providing an attacking threat down that left-hand side. Did some really good underlapping runs as well, and then take nothing away from the goal he scored, which was a finish of a seasoned striker, a phenomenal touch inside, a phenomenal finish round into the corner, bottom corner as well, with brilliant power, such a little backlift, phenomenal from Mickey Van der Ven. So had to give him an 8.
Yeah, I mean, Simeon, there's actually nothing more I can put on top of that to say why I gave him 8. You hit a home run with the analysis. A very easy 8.
Yeah, fantastic. Next up, Cuti Romero. 7s all round for him. Really solid display yet again. I just love how he sets the tone with his aggressive nature, making sure that he's getting to the ball first and starting Spurs on attacks. He had a really great moment in the second half where he did this underlapping run into the penalty area and nearly set up a chance for Pupsar, who obviously had a really good effort on goal, which was saved by the goalkeeper. But Romero just isn't scared of getting in those attacking positions. And to be fair, lately he's probably been our biggest attacking threat in recent weeks with some of the chances that he's missed, and obviously did score one against Arsenal. But yeah, really solid display from Cuti Romero on this one.
He's been brilliant all season, or especially since the sending off against Chelsea. But in the last few weeks, even when the chips have been down, his determination to go forward, to play it out from the back, to be one of the furthest forward, he's just showing so much more maturity, so much more confidence. I think a lot of it may be now that he has Van der Ven alongside him, he's got a partner he can trust in. And he's got a lot more confidence going forward. The one thing I've loved seeing him this season is how comfortable he is going forward with the ball, and not just stepping into midfield, going on runs into the final third. And yesterday was another strong performance from him.
Yeah, really, really good from Coutinho. Next up, Ollie Skip. Both gave him a 6. I didn't think he did badly. I didn't think I think he's probably been better than what Emerson's been showing in recent weeks. And I thought definitely on the ball, he was accomplished and did some really good stuff. I did feel like, especially in the first half, they did target that side a bit and they were always trying to look to get him behind. And obviously, Bryn Larsen was able to get the goal from that side as well. So I think defensively was probably a bit suspect. Although, again, he did some good stuff defensively. But I did think that was the side they were getting the most joy out of. So I don't think it was like an incredible display. But I thought he was solid and didn't think he did too much wrong. So I gave him a 6.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I gave him a 6, and I will say that it was going to be a lot lower, or 1 or 2 lower. But then, like I said, when we spoke about the match report, is when I saw that tweet, and I'm sure it was a tweet, and if the person's watching that put the tweet, well done you, was saying, do you know what? It's exactly the same that happened with Destiny. Exactly the same that happened with any fullback we've played. They're going forward in that space because Andrew's been telling them to be there and do that. So I couldn't put, as much as when I first saw it, I thought, Ollie Skip, what the hell are you doing? When you take a step back and you look at it and realise he's doing what Ange asked him to do, I couldn't hold him full for it. So that's why he got a 6 from me.
Yeah, fair enough. Next up, Yves Bissouma. Both gave him 7s. I thought he played quite well, to be fair. I didn't think he did too much wrong in this game. I think he has been a bit better in recent weeks. I thought against Liverpool he played quite well. And in this game he seemed a bit back to his best. Maybe not his best, but definitely a lot better than some of his low points this season, that's for sure. He seems a lot more confident. He was a lot more confident on the ball as well, playing some quick football. So... yeah, I thought it was a decent display for Yves Bissouma.
Yeah, for me, he certainly did look a little bit brighter. I remember in the first half, he played a couple of nice 1-2s and he kept trying to find the forward with outside. But obviously, the pass just didn't have enough weight about it. But like you said, there were glimpses of the Bissouma we saw at the beginning, like how he was getting away from people, putting his foot in. So it was a brighter performance from him. But let's be serious. It wasn't that complicated to do better than he has been doing. But he certainly looked more like his old self. And hopefully he can end the season in this manner as opposed to what he has been.
Yeah, definitely. Pat Mate Sarr up next, 6s all round. Again, not a bad display. Did commit a lot of energy to the game. Obviously, nearly scored in the second half as well with a nice finish. But I did think as well, on the ball, just lacked a bit of quality. I felt like his pressing was decent, but his challenge for the goal that we conceded was pretty weak. Did get into some good positions, but I felt like I didn't take full advantage of it. Look, if he would have scored, it could have been, that would have... maybe bumped his score up one with that chance he did miss. I thought he did okay. I did think we were probably better when Bentacle did come on. So gave him a 6, but wasn't bad from Sarr.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I mean, one of the things that annoyed me about him is obviously in the first half, when Maddison took that opportunity away from him, when they were both running for the same ball and he took it on. And I thought it was much better a ball for Sarr. And we all saw what Sarr goal against Bournemouth. I think Sarr might have had a better opportunity than Maddison. And then there was another time in the second half where we were on the break and he could have released Son a bit sooner and he just held on to it for that little bit longer and got the free kick because there was a foul. But I think earlier on in the season, Sarr would have got that ball out to Son and we may have been looking at another opportunity, another goal there. But I think he's just running out of steam. It's been a long season for him. And his first season, regularly in the full team. And I think this season's just caught up with him. But yeah, definitely a 6.
Okay, next up, James Maddison. Both gave him a 6. Still not the James Maddison I think that, you know, we know what he's capable of. Again, I don't think he was bad. I thought there was some really good moments from him where he was knitting the play quickly together, maybe creating a few openings. I feel like no one's really on his wavelength a lot of the time, and he's doing a lot of good stuff without any reward. And then sometimes he overplays his hand. He should have done better with some situations. There were some good moments, especially in the second half, where he had that chance which he created for himself, went past the defender and then had that one-on-one, which he'll be disappointed he didn't score. Had that chance in the first half he wasted where he was played in by Toney and took the ball off Sarr and probably could have done better with that opportunity. I did think he was bright. But again, still left a lot to be desired where he could have done a lot more. He did end up getting an assist for Van de Ven's goal. So, you know, I guess he has that to have to show for his performance. But again, we've seen him play a lot better. But again, I don't think it was a shocker by any means.
No, I mean, it wasn't as bad as some of his previous games. He certainly showed signs of getting stronger, which was encouraging to see. But obviously, James Maddison came and set the bar so goddamn high. And we're like, yes, we've got our creative player. We have got that missing piece that we needed in that department. And obviously, since he's come back from his injury, it's been a shadow of the man we saw at the beginning. But he was brighter towards the end, but still wasteful, like you said, on many a time.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, Brennan Johnson. Both gave him 6s. I thought he had a lot of good opportunities, didn't he? He had that chance at the back post when Decky had the volley, and that was saved at the near post by the keeper. That was a good opportunity. He had another opportunity where he robbed the defender from Burnley after a kick from Mirik, and he went for the near post rather than squaring it to Son, and missed that opportunity. Had the opportunity in the second half where Son puts it across the face of goal and Johnson's trying to put it away at the back post, and he just gets it the wrong side of the post, and that was right on the goal line, so that was quite a big miss. So I thought when it came to him, he was threatening. Definitely was a lot better when he was on the right than the left, but he'll be disappointed that he had a number of presentable opportunities and he couldn't put any of them away. So that'll be disappointing. But he did link up well for Porro's goal, so that was positive. And I think he did threaten, so that was positive as well. He would just be disappointed that he had a number of really good opportunities and he couldn't put any of them away.
Yeah, for me, and I'm standing by Brennan and giving him next season. His decision-making needs to drastically improve. Like I said, I thought the opportunity where he went near post and it hit the side netting was actually a very smart idea. It was just, I mean, hit the side netting, not even the post. It wasn't exactly the tightest of angles that we've seen. But if you're going to do that, you need to hit the target. You need to hit the target. And I think once he can improve his decision making, I also think it's vital. I always try and do this. I want to give a player at least the opportunity to have a full pre-season under the manager. And obviously, we signed him on the last day of the transfer window, so he got no pre-season for Tottenham Hotspur as well. And I think if we sign the right striker and have a good summer with players, he could. He is more of an Ange type player than Kulusevski is. And I think full pre-season behind him, we'll see what he can do, but he needs to improve on his decision making. He needs to improve on how he starts games, because we've obviously seen the difference he can make coming off the bench. But if you're going to become a big time Spurs player, you need to be ready and available to do it from minute one. And I think he struggled yesterday from minute one with his decision making.
Yeah, unfortunately. Next up, Dejan Kulusevski. I gave him a 5. You gave him a 4. I thought on the left-hand side in that first half really struggled to impact the game. I thought he did not look comfortable there whatsoever. Didn't want to really go on the outside. And I felt like once he was cutting his on his right foot, very ineffective. He did create a couple of opportunities, one for Johnson, and he did get to the byline a couple of times to pull one back, but his delivery wasn't great. I thought he looked much more comfortable in the first 20 minutes of the second half when he was on the right-hand side. He was a lot more threatening, nearly got on the score sheet after he robbed the ball high up the pitch and nearly scored, but the finish was poor. And all of a sudden, I thought once he moved back out to the right, we saw a different Decky, but I thought it was rightfully taken off when he was. So overall wasn't a great display from him, but I thought definitely much better on the right than on the left.
Yeah, I mean, with Decky, I wasn't even thinking of a 3, but I thought, no, Joe, I'm going to give him a 4 because, like I said, he gets into these opportunities, but his output, his final, the shot, the cross, whatever, it's just not going in for him. It's just not reaching where it's meant to be. He's getting the... They always say if you're a striker and you're getting the opportunities, but you're not scoring, that's better than obviously not getting the opportunities at all. And Decky's been getting the opportunities, but his final ball has been woeful. And his finishing, when given the opportunity, cutting in on his left for that shot from the right, again, wasn't good enough. So the opportunities he's getting, whether it's by an error from the other team or created, his output just isn't there. His output just isn't there. And like I said, I think he is a really, really good player, a fantastic player in the right system. It's the exact opposite. And he is not an Ange, or he does not fit this system. And it's a shame that we're seeing these performances because he's been asked to do something he can't do.
Son up next. I gave him a 7. Brian gives him a 6. I actually thought Son had quite a decent game overall. He did create a lot of chances for his teammates. I think when it comes to his goal threat, which is obviously what Son ultimately gets judged on a lot, it probably wasn't as what it should be. He had a couple of attempts on goal which were quite weak, outside the box, easy saves to the keeper. But when it came to how he was creating chances for his teammates, I thought he created numerous, and he was continually let down by a lot of his teammates on this occasion. I thought he really helped open up Burnley on a number of occasions. One in the first half where he played Maddison in on goal, was let down by that. He played Porro in on goal, and Porro rushed the finish. And then once he moved out to the left, he created a number of opportunities on that left-hand side I think there was one for Bentancur, one for Johnson, which was one side of the post. So I think when you look at the overall picture, he could have easily been sitting here with 2 or 3 assists, and then we're talking about a really good performance from Son. I did think he got let down by his teammates a lot, and then you couple that with the fact that I don't think he was threatening enough for a player of his quality against that level of opposition. He'll be disappointed he didn't get maybe more goal-scoring opportunities. So at the end of the day, it wasn't his best performance, but I did think it was an underrated performance. So I gave him a 7.
So yeah, I mean, you just hit why I gave him a 6, not a 7, was against this team, you would have thought he'd have more of an impact. Like, I gave Maddison a 6, he got an assist. He looked a lot, if he had played the whole game on the left and played how he did in that brief time on the left for the full game, then you're looking at a 7 or an 8. But he just went quiet at times, and listen, that's not Son's fault. Playing him in the centre, we know he can't, it's not the preferred position or where you get the best out of him. But if I'm giving Porro a 7 for having a great game and having an impact, a goal, and being creative and being a much more attacking influence, I can't give Son the same mark for not having a goal, not having an assist, and not really standing out to me. But he did look a lot brighter on the left. I will give him that. When he looked on the left, he looked a completely different player.
Okay, to the substitutes now. Dragusin up first. We gave him a 6. I thought he was pretty solid when he came on. I thought he made sure that Burnley weren't able to threaten us and we were able to sustain the pressure. Facilitated Van der Ven playing on the left as well. So decent cameo from him, so I gave him a 6.
Yeah, it was good to see him. I mean, I must admit, there's a bit of an appreciation group in the Scotland Yard for Dragusin, and they've been getting mad why he hasn't got minutes. So when he actually got subbed, the Scotland Yard went mad like we've scored a goal. So it was good to see him, and he did look like he had it was good to see him. But yeah, I think the 6 was the easiest mark to give, because he came on, he looked assured, but didn't really have to do much, did he?
No, that's fair. Next up, Rodrigo Bentancur. We both gave him a 6. I thought it was a solid cameo. I thought he added a bit more energy, a bit of quality. Didn't really got into a couple of goal scoring positions, which he didn't take advantage of, but helped just make sure that Burnley weren't really a threat. And I thought his pressing was really good as well. So I gave him a 6.
Yeah, I mean, for me, just very briefly on this, I think he looked a lot more comfortable than he has done in the last few appearances he has made. Even though it was a brief cameo, that looked like he was moving and acting and passing around like the Bentancur we know and love. So it was a positive thing to see from him. But again, couldn't really go higher than a 6 with the time he had on the pitch.
Yeah. Next up, Dane Scarlett, who got quite some significant minutes yesterday. Both gave him a 6. I don't think personally he did too much fantastic when it comes to him on the ball, in terms of doing anything brilliant. But what he did was gave us a bit of a presence, asked different questions of the Burnley backline. And if it wasn't for some last gasp defending from Burnley, he could have very easily found himself on the score sheet with a couple of tap-ins at the back post. It was really unfortunate that Burnley were able to get those interventions. Had a couple of opportunities to get the shot off, which he wasn't able to do. But he did definitely impact the game positively, so I gave him a 6.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the main thing that impressed me was his work rate off the ball and what he did in his movement and intelligence. Yeah, first touch was a little bit lackluster at times, but listen, he look at the lack of minutes he's had. He's come back from loan, he's just around the team now, but it was something positive to see. And also him moving to the centre, obviously got some playing better on the left. So he did have some impact, and easy 6.
Yeah, easy 6. There were some other subs which we didn't rate. They only got 5 minutes. There was Højbjerg and Lo Celso. Not much to really say about their cameos. They came on for the last 5 minutes to see out the game. They were decent, but I don't think there's too much to say. Lastly, we're gonna talk about Ange. Both gave him a 7. I thought his subs impacted the game positively. I think, you know what, I've got to give Ange a bit of credit, because he is trying some new things. You know, Decky starting on the left, Skip starting the left back, these kind of things people have been calling for him to at least experiment, and he has been willing to do. Whether they work or not, you know, sometimes things work, sometimes they don't, and I think his willingness to experiment is positive. The fact he gave Scar significant minutes, he put Van der Velde left back, which definitely did work, and his subs did impact the game positively, so that was good. He's just got to work out how to fix the back post issue, and as well this issue of us starting games slowly and all this kind of thing. I think he managed the game quite well, but still some issues to sort out, so I gave him a 7.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same as you. What I will say that I did like it was, like you said, he tried different things in the game. It may have been the same system, but he tried different variations of what he can do with it. But what I did like with Ange yesterday is we've been talking a lot recently, like in the Fulham game, the Newcastle game, the Liverpool game, the substitutes and the timing of them, and were they the correct personnel. At the beginning of the season, they were coming off. We didn't understand it, but they were working. And I think that happened yesterday. I think yesterday he got the substitutes, the triple substitution, bang on at the right time with the right personnel, and he deserves credit for that. So that's why he got the 7 from me.
All right, well, that is your player ratings. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on all the ratings we have discussed. Before we get into the 5 takeaways, a couple of updates. First of all, the second half is underway in the FA Cup final. Still 1-0 to Man United on the 50-minute mark. Unfortunately, no sign of a Tottenham goal as of yet, but if there is one, we'll keep you updated. Spurs currently on the attack, but they've been forced backwards. And a bit of breaking transfer news. breaking in the last few moments. According to Fabrizio Romano, Millwall have agreed a deal to sign Japhet Tanganga on a permanent transfer. There is a green light from Tottenham as they want to sell him. Personal terms now must be agreed between Tanganga and Millwall for the transfer to be completed, but it seems as though Tottenham have agreed a permanent deal. I do wonder what the kind of fee we will be getting from Millwall. He does seem to have found a home there, hasn't he, Brian, at Tanganga at Millwall, so I'm very happy for him. What kind of fee do you expect, do you reckon, from them?
Do you know what? It's a hard one to say. What I will say is I wish Japhet all the luck in the world. I really wanted it to work for him at Tottenham. I really, really wanted it to work. What we saw with Jose when he broke through looked really, really promising. But what I will say, and this is me saying it, this is even for me to say, this is a statement that I look at it and say, do you know what? They've got one out the door already. But whether you agree it's a player off the books, he's not going to have been on big wages. Obviously, it does bring up an issue with homegrown, so we need another homegrown player in. And we obviously spoke about Marcus Edwards earlier. But Spurs are moving before the window opens. All right, it's a player out. But we were all talking about, are we going to get the Deadwood out? What will we do? Is the contract going to be ripped up? Is it going to be easy to get him out? And it looks like one could be out before the season's even over. So let's hope it's a sign that this summer will be different. And I wish Japhet all the luck in the world at his new club.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll have to wait and see if he is going to agree personal terms with Millwall. But it looks like Tanganga's time at Tottenham is officially coming to an end here with a permanent transfer to Millwall. Spurs have just made a double substitution. Oh, no! It's 2-0. Just as I was talking about the double substitution, Man United have doubled the lead at Wembley. A set piece across to the back post. Even the women can't defend the back post. And a header across the face of goal into the far post. And it is 2-0 to Man United. Looks like Tottenham will not be getting a trophy here at Wembley. Williams with a header at the back post. Really poor defending from Tottenham. And too easy for Man United to get back in the game. So 2-0 to Man United here. I'm just watching it again. Across, oh, is there an offside maybe? I don't know. I think the goal scorer is onside. I think it's a fine goal. Header at the back post. Keeper got nowhere near it. It's too easy. Williams rises above Neville. Actually, Neville's a good header, but right into the back post. 2-0 to Man United, unfortunately. Even the women are bottling it. Classic. All right.
Simeon, even doing it as well. Post.
Away. It's a chance for Tottenham.
This with the men. Far post again.
Beth England had just had an effort over the bar, looking to try and get back in the game, but it's not looking good. Not looking good for the women at the moment. All right, let's go to the 5 takeaways then and see the 5 things we could take away from the game against Bournemouth. The first one is defenders stepping up, and obviously Van de Ven and Porro scored yesterday, which, you know, is not alien to us. It's the second time this season they both scored in the same game to give us the victory, obviously after the Nottingham Forest game quite recently. Both players scored, and it carries on a theme of late where our defenders have been more threatening than our attackers, and the stat reads that 5 of our last 8 goals have been scored by defenders. 2 of the other ones have been scored by own goal, and only Son really has been and Richarlison obviously against Liverpool have been getting on the score sheet of late. So our defenders have definitely been much more threatening than our attackers of late, and I think that stat proves it, doesn't it, Brian?
It does, Simeon, and again, this is the kind of thing that we need to obviously see that there is an issue, that we're heavily reliant on defenders to have been scoring goals, and like you said, recently they have been the lion's share of everything we're doing. Both goals, it needs to be addressed, it needs to be worked on, but it's always good to know that you got goal scoring defenders that can chip in with goals. You want players to chip in from all over the pitch. Let's just hope the attackers can start weighing in as of next season, because we need them to do their job a lot more clinically than they have been.
Definitely. I think that also just goes to show how much we're struggling with our forward line at the moment to be effective. Before we get into the next takeaway, just confirming it's Man United 3, Tottenham 0 now, and it's a bit of a drubbing potentially at Wembley. A really bad mistake from the keeper, just passed it straight to the Man United attacker, and it's an easy goal, 3-0. Terrible, terrible mistake by the keeper. Oh God, that's hard watch doing that at Wembley as well. Oh, dearie me. But it's 3-0, and that's probably game over before the hour mark in the FA Cup final for the Tottenham ladies. So not good, not good. All right, next takeaway is a PORRO threat. And obviously PORRO got on the score sheet, and with that goal, that takes his goal contributions this season in all competitions to 10 goal contributions, which is really, really impressive considering that, you know, a lot of people think he's got even more to offer with the quality that he has got. And when you talk about goal contributions, only Kieran Trippier in the Premier League has more goal contributions this season than from fullback than Pedro Porro, which goes to show the quality that he has done. Obviously, the goal he scored was full of quality, hammering at home at the near post when, you know, a lot of the players seem to be kind of unsure of themselves in that period in the final third. He definitely just took the bull by the horns and said, you know what, I ain't crossing this one, I'm just going to batter it in the near post. And obviously it paid dividends, and we know he's got so much more to give. He's got 3 goals and 7 assists now this season in all competitions. So a brilliant attacking fullback, isn't he? And I think hopefully next season, want to even more kind of well-oiled in our system, he can even get even more goal contributions.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I'll say that, I mean, obviously there's been a discussion during this season is, could Romero be a 6? Could Romero be the answer, whatever? But again, this conversation about Pedro Porro and should he be a right back or should we be considering playing him more advanced, I think the more and more that we're seeing, the more and more that this needs to be discussed. Obviously, I started the season never wanting to see Porro at right back ever again. But after the Man United game, I had to eat humble pie and loved seeing him right back. But this conversation won't go away, will it? Is his position right back? Is his position further forward? And when you have those stats, look what Liverpool have now worked out with Trent Alexander-Arnold. They've realised that he offers so much more, being a little bit more advanced. I don't know if in Spurs' future we see maybe we go and attack 2 right backs in the summer, or 1 in the summer, 1 in January. But Pedro Porro's goal threat and Pedro Porro's attacking and creative prowess is just to be applauded and admired. He's been brilliant this season.
Yeah, I think so. I do think his best position is right back. I think if he can be as effective as he is now at right back, with all the responsibilities he has got, I think you just keep him there, in my opinion, because I don't know if he can be even more effective further forward. I think he really utilises that extra space afforded to him very well, and I think if you put him further forward, I don't know if he'll be as effective. But that's just my opinion. But next takeaway is Son let down. And this is Son yesterday, in my opinion, who actually had quite a good performance, definitely creatively. And the stat reads he set up 5 chances yesterday, which were all missed by his teammates. And even centrally, he created 3 chances for his teammates, which were not taken. And I thought he was actually able to carve out opportunities really impressively. Even when then he moved out to the left, was able to be a big threat as well against a tiring fullback, and created really good opportunities for Brennan Johnson and Bentancur as well from that side. And he'll be really annoyed that a lot of his good work wasn't taken full advantage of, and he should really have been ending the game with a few assists. So I really felt Son was actually let down by his teammates yesterday a lot of the time.
Yeah, I mean, so with this, for me, this kind of ties in with takeaway 1 with defence of the rest. If you look at it, for a while now, our midfield and attack offensively and attacking wise have not been at it. I don't know if it's the right combination, if they've lost a bit of confidence, whatever it may be. they haven't been as ruthless and as problematic for other teams as we were at the start of the season. And yeah, you're right, Sonny was let down with those stats that you provided. But I think it's a greater issue. But you're definitely right. Like you said, I wasn't aware until you read these stats just how many chances he was creating. But yeah, you're right. He was let down. He was let down. We need to be more ruthless.
Definitely. Next up, we're going to be talking about versatile Van de Ven, and obviously Van de Ven got the Player of the Year for the One Hotspur members yesterday, and obviously backed up with a brilliant performance and the winning goal. But let's talk about his cameo at left back, because obviously he's been playing a lot of the season at centre back, and even in this game had a brilliant game at centre back, but showed his ability as well to maybe move over to left back, and he's played there for Wolfsburg, and I thought he played there for 20 minutes on yesterday and had a really great cameo, was able to provide a bit of width to the game, was able to get to the byline, and obviously showed his quality in the final third as well with the unbelievable goal he scored. And if that was a 60 million new signing off the wing, we'd all be waxing lyrical about that goal. But Van de Ven scoring it, you can't quite believe that's our centre-back popping up in that area and providing the quality that he did in that situation. It was an unbelievably well-taken goal, and maybe shows the versatility he does have, and maybe that's something we're going to make use of down the line.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the comparisons to Jan Vertonghen are going to be there throughout his entire time of being at Tottenham. And obviously, we all remember Jan Vertonghen when he went left back against Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, the home leg. He's just a magnificent player. It's another string to his bow. You know what it is as well? Like I said, Jonathan Pearce on commentary on Match of the Day yesterday waxed lyrical about him. When you watch... I watched that podcast with Micah Richards, Alan Shearer, and Lineker. Everyone is just waxing lyrical about a breath of fresh air he has been to English football. And obviously, we have the joy of seeing him at very, very close quarters and regularly. There is nothing better than watching Mickey Van de Ven trying to output, or people trying to keep up with Mickey Van de Ven. Or most importantly, there's nothing better than seeing Mickey Van de Ven even surprise us with just how good he is. And yesterday, he did it again. He's just a joy to behold.
Yeah, just when you think he couldn't surprise you, he goes and pops up with that kind of goal yesterday. Astonishing finish, and doesn't get enough credit for that kind of element of his game. So unbelievable from Van de Ven. So what can't he do? Is the question at this point. Well, I'd just like to see him take Usain Bolt on an 100-meter race and see if he can come out on top of that, because at this rate, he's not far off. Last one we're going to be talking about is that top four race, and now relying on Liverpool. Obviously, with that win, we are only 4 points behind now with 2 games left. And obviously Villa go to Liverpool on Monday night, looking to put that to bed. If they do lose on Monday night at Villa Park, then that does put an intriguing situation for Tuesday. Obviously, even though we did win on Saturday, I didn't see too much evidence from that performance that we're going to turn City over on Tuesday, regardless of whether the fans want us to or not. But it is intriguing because if Liverpool do win and we do get a point or 3 against Man City somehow on one sec. Oh, Spurs just missed an open goal in the cup final. Apologies. If we do get a result against City on Tuesday, then Villa do have to go away at Palace, who are in firing form on the final day, and we do play Sheffield United. So I guess it's not completely over until it's over, is it, Brian, when it comes to that top 4 race? I know it's still very unlikely, and we do have to if we do lose to City, then that is it, and there won't be anything left to play for. But, you know, when you look at that situation, it's not completely impossible that we could still be in it come the final day.
It's a load of coulda, woulda, shouldas, isn't it? It's a load of coulda, woulda, shouldas. If we beat City, it becomes a problem. Oh, sorry, there is that possibility, like you said. I think when it comes to, when we look back at this, and I said it on the fan show when I came on yesterday, if we miss out because of whatever's gone on, we need to look at the 4-0 at Fulham. We need to look at the 4-2 at Brighton. We need to look at fixtures where we should have taken the lead. The fact that we are where we are now is because, again, we didn't take advantages of situations that we created for ourselves. It's not mathematically impossible. We'll have to wait and see, but it would just be the most Tottenham-like thing that all these things that you said fall into place, and there is a glimpse of an opportunity at Champions League come final day of the season. Do I think we'll be there? No, I think by the final game of the season, fit as well will be. But it certainly is going to make for a nail-biting final day of the season, isn't it?
But I do think. Do you believe that Villa will do their part? They'll fail to beat United and Palace. Liverpool and Palace. I believe they will fail to do that. I do think they'll do their part. So it is on us, isn't it? I think if we want, not if we want to, but I think if we do our part, we will get top 4. But that's just a big question whether we will.
First of all, is Liverpool Villa at Anfield, or is it a Villa?
It's at Villa Park.
Yeah, I just can't see Villa doing it. If it had been at Anfield, then I might have said, you know what? Yeah, I think Aston Villa may slip up. I can't see them, knowing that if they get a point or whatever it may be, Champions League is confirmed.
No, they need a win. They need to win.
Liverpool really haven't got anything to play for. They need to win to confirm that we can't go above them.
Yeah.
Is what you say. So yeah, I could just see Villa getting it done. I can see, do you know what? I can see Villa doing it against Liverpool, but then failing against Palace.
See, I think they might.
I don't see it doing it.
I think they might draw to Liverpool, and then I can see them losing to Palace on the final day. I really can. I think Palace are flying, and I think the way Palace play as well is quite suited to the way Villa like to play. And I feel I'm looking at Villa, as much as we're running out of energy, I see them running out of energy as well. They were very poor in the Conference League semi. They were very poor in their last league game against Brighton as well. So I don't know. I think there is an opportunity there if we can do it, but it's about whether we can get anything out of that City game. And we probably have to win that, to be honest. I think a draw probably isn't good enough. But if we do win against City, then it means Villa will have to. If Liverpool beat Villa on Monday, it means Villa will have to beat Palace on the last day, and a draw wouldn't be good enough. So that will be quite an interesting situation if that was ever to come. But look, let's just all eyes on Villa and Liverpool tomorrow. Let's just hope first of all that United can do a job now, because otherwise, no one's going to want to beat City anyway. So look, the kickoff will be in half an hour's time. But anyway, look, that is your 5 takeaways. Let me know in the comment section below any more takeaways you have for us. At the moment, 20 minutes to go in the cup final. It is 3-0, and Spurs did hit the bar and then kind of missed the target on the follow-up. So they had an opportunity to get back in the game, but unfortunately didn't take it. And it's looking ominous now that they will be losing the. They are going to be losing the cup final, unfortunately. But we will end this stream with reacts. So let's see how.
Simeon, just quickly before you do that, I know that the delay is getting worse. Do you want to do that bit by yourself so there's no delay? I don't mind staying, but I'm just thinking this delay looks like it's getting worse. And it might be easier. It's up to you.
Try re-adding yourself just quickly, and maybe that solved it last time.
All right, let me just come out and come back in. Give me about 1 minute. I'll be right back.
All right, no worries. I'll take you through the cup final in the meantime, and then we'll end the stream with reacts. Arsenal, by the way, kicking off in 25 minutes. There's no Bruno, no Rashford in the Man United team. Not looking great for that team at the moment. Their lineup is Onana in goal, Dalot, Casemiro, Evans and Wan-Bissaka, Amrabat and Kobe Mainoo in the midfield with Garnacho, McTominay, Diallo and Højlund up front. Arsenal pretty much at full strength. So it's going to take a monumental effort for Man United to get anything out of that game, I should think. But we can all live in hope. We'll wait for Brian to get back. Man United in behind here. It could be 4-0. They're in on goal. And it's a good save from the keeper. And it's just gone wide. So very close to 4-0 to Man United in the FA Cup final. Unfortunately, Tottenham being well beaten here by Man United. Oh, very close to 4-0.
How's that?
Yeah, seems to be all right at the moment, Brian.
Perfect.
All right, let's get into reacts then and see how the internet reacted to Tottenham's win against Burnley. 1 sec. Let me just refresh because... Yeah, here we are. What's this? What's been liked? A friend... Oh, that's my uncle. I don't know what he's like. Anyway, Paul O'Keefe says... And the geezer had the cheek to strop for about 5 minutes after. Have some shame. Yeah, this was quite a funny moment, wasn't it, Brian? Near the end of the game, Assassignon trips himself up, it seems here. I don't think there's any contact on him, from what I can see anyway. And he spends the whole time stropping on the floor, and the Burnley captain Dara O'Shea had to go up to him to get him to carry on because he's wasting time. As the minutes tick on, the closer they are to getting relegated, and he's sitting there feigning injury, asking for a penalty when there's been no touch on him, and that was quite a funny moment. He ended up getting booked for it, and his own teammates getting frustrated with him, weren't they?
Yeah, I mean, what I will say, I mean, this was obviously, I had the beauty of being able to watch the replays over and over again, being at the pub, not stadium. Fair play to the Burnley captain for doing what he did. Obviously, they're about to go down. They don't want time wasting. There's obviously no penalty. And you know what? I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall in the Burnley dressing room once they got in with this, because this is the things you don't want to see. It's blatantly cheating. And trying to, the way he was acting and rolling around like he'd been shot, it's just unacceptable and not called for. And yeah, it's not nice things to see when a game stopped for 5 minutes like this. And well done to the Burnley captain. It was actually good to see a Burnley captain do that.
Talking about things not nice to see, it's 4-0 to Man United in the FA Cup final. So a real final drubbing, Tottenham on the hand there. Dearie me, I think they just want the final whistle at this point. All right, let's keep going. Zara says, right answers only. And Porro was asked, who's better, Ronaldo or Messi? And his response was, Sonny. Who else? Well, the absolutely spot-on answer from Pedro Porro. Absolutely love to see it. Great answer from him. Absolutely spot on there. COYS Daniel says, I love Johnson, but holy hell, the amount of big chances missed. And the stat reads that Johnson leads the way for Tottenham for big chances missed at 16 big chances, which is an extraordinary amount. Yeah, I think probably 2 of them were yesterday, weren't they? With one of them at the back post and the other one where he where he slid at the back post and he kind of didn't get it over the line. But that's not good enough, is it? At this rate, you know, 16 big chances is look. I guess it's a positive thing that he's getting those chances, but you can't be missing at that rate because it's going to be costing us at the end of the day.
Yeah. Spot on. Like I said, I'm going to back him up, and that stat is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. It's his first season. I think once he's got a pre-season and he gets a bit more confidence about himself, and who knows who's coming in that may be beneficial to him, he has to improve next season. If he doesn't improve next season, then I will turn around and say, time to go. No standing on the ceremony or being sentimental. Out you go. There's key things players need to work on every season, and this is a very, very clear indicator to what Brennan Johnson needs to focus on, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's actually over double the nearest person with Richarlison, who's not exactly the most clinical, and he's only missed 7 big chances. So Brennan Johnson, has a lot of big chances missed, so he needs to correct that and become more clinical. But I guess the positive thing is there's something, like if he was getting no chances, then that's one thing. At least he's getting the chances and he just needs to be a bit more clinical when he gets there. And that can come for a young player. So I guess that's a positive, if you know what I mean. I think it would be more worrying if we're sitting here seeing like no chances missed, because then all of a sudden you're like, where are the chances coming from?
You know what I'll add to that as well is Timo Werner has played a fraction of the games Brennan Johnson have played. if they played the same, we saw what Werner's finishing was like. It wasn't the greatest. So that stat is a little bit skewed. I'm pretty sure that if Werner had played exactly the same minutes as Johnson, they would be a lot closer to each other. That's still not a real positive thing, but yeah, this is something people can work on and improve.
You're probably right on that, considering that if you look at the shot conversions, Brendan Johnson's on 9.8% and Timo Werner's on 6.9%. So his conversion's even worse. And you look at the players above him, Richarlison 17%, Son's on 21%. So you can see those are the numbers they need to be hitting if they're going to be effective forwards. An account called Hourly Cootie Son. So they just love the Cootie and Son content. They have posted a picture of two fans yesterday wearing Sonny and Romero Hawaiian-inspired shirts. Now, Brian, I want to know when you're ordering your shirts, Brian.
Mate, if you remember Mate, if you remember last year when I was in the studio with you for my birthday, I was wearing a very, very loud Hawaiian shirt. So if I could find where I could order one of them, I would order one. And I think I would go with the Romero one.
Romero, the Sonny one.
I think I will go with the Cootie one. No, I'd wear both. But if I had my choice, I'd pick Cootie. But yeah, mate, they're wicked things to see. I love those out of the ordinary, not standard. Just those things are wicked. I would easily wear either.
Definitely, I loved it. I do like the look of these shirts. I wouldn't mind going on holiday wearing one of those. That's for sure.
I'm right.
StatMuse says most PL seasons with more than 10 goals and assists by an active player. You've got 9 for Sterling, 8 for De Bruyne, and 8 for Son. So Son now 1 season away, I guess, from catching up with the other two. Just shows what a consistent player he is. Son. Obviously, I know he didn't really add to that yesterday, so I don't know why they're saying this now. But well, there you have it.
You know what? Let me just add to that, Simeon, because I got a photo. It came in my Leave Out group. They're in a lot of Facebook groups, and I don't join these Tottenham Facebook groups, or if I am members of them, I'm hardly active in them. But there was a stat about Son that came out yesterday, which was, to me, goes to show just how consistent he can. Even though he's been inconsistent recently, we could say. It says, for those that are claiming Sonny is finished, a reminder that this season he has 26 goals and assists across the board. This is 5 more than the must-buy Alexander Isaacs, and is only 4 behind Haaland. So when you look at those stats, and obviously people are saying, "Oh, do you know what? It's Sonny. He's been so inactive on the centre as opposed to the left." You cannot knock his stats. You cannot knock those stats. And like I said, these things are really key indicators. Like you saw with Frank Lampard always getting over 20 goals a season from midfield. It's an incredible stat. You saw Harry Kane constantly hitting. These are, obviously we want to see trophies or whatever, but the Premier League is such a hard league to hit numbers like this, and it just shows the consistency Son that does give.
Yeah, definitely. And I think, when people talk about, is Son this, Son that, Son's the last person we should be talking about replacing at the moment, because he's the only one actually delivering in that front line. If everyone had the numbers in that front line that Son's having, we wouldn't have an issue. Son's the only one maintaining his standards. You got Brennan Johnson, who's inconsistent, doesn't maintain those kind of numbers. Neither does Decky, neither does Werner, neither does Richarlison. None of them hold a candle to Sonny. And imagine we talked about taking Kane's goals out of the team. Imagine you take Son's goals out of the team as well. Like, that's going to be even harder to replace. So I think Son, I don't know why people are having conversations about him when he's the one actually having a good season compared to the others. Next up from Bell, obviously this is the content we all love after in the lap of honour, post-season lap of honour. And they said, this is so funny, poor Sonny. And this is Porro having a bit of a joke with Sonny when Porro's going over. I think he's walking around with Sonny's physiotherapist, and he's giving him a handshake. Yeah, Sonny goes over to him and he asks him to basically F off, I think, in Spanish as a joke. And Sonny takes it all in good spirits. Yeah, it was interesting watching everyone walk around their families, and Sonny's there with his physiotherapist. It just, everyone's thinking, when is Sonny going to have his moment where he gets married and finds someone? But we all know what Heung-min Dad has ordered, so that's going to be a while yet. But yeah, lovely, funny moments there. I think there'll be more Lap of Honor moments as well. He's always funny in the Lap of Honor, isn't he, Sonny?
It was. Sonny was brilliant, but I have to say the children of some of the players yesterday stole the show. I mean, I don't know if any of them are coming, so I won't give any spoilers or anything. But it is always good to see, and yeah, Sonny. Hopefully, one day we'll see him with his family and his please God wife one day and children and whatever. But yeah, it's nice to see the affection that everyone has for Sonny is there to all see, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. City Chief says here, it's actually tweeting James Black at the Tottenham Stadium yesterday singing I'm City till July. I'm City till July. I know I am. I'm sure I am. I'm City till July. What do you think of him singing that at the Spurs Stadium? What do you think? Because he's employed by the club, isn't he? James Black. I love him. I have to say, I think he's brilliant. The great work he's done this season, getting some new songs out there has been fantastic. But what do you think the club will make out of that? Him at the stadium, in his live set, singing I'm City till July.
Yeah, I mean, listen, obviously you and I know him. Obviously we know Tim Winston from Spurs Song Sheets and the guys at Spurs Song Sheet, which do tremendous work, whether the songs get used in the ground or just played in your car or on your phone, whatever. They do great work. But some of the problems I had last season when I was doing my Leave Out protest with all the Leave Outers that were doing it and everything was things like this. And this isn't me having a shot at James Black, but it's literally, this is in the Spurs Stadium and we are now celebrating or doing this, and then obviously it gets to other football clubs. It's like, oh, look how pathetic Spurs are. This is what Spurs are. So listen, we all know we're all singing for City. We all know that we want City to win should the filth get a result today. Do I agree with this and being very loudly sang during a Spurs season again where we may have just fallen short? I'm undecided with this whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. But like you said, he is employed by the club.
That's the thing.
God knows what they'll think about.
Like I've got no problem with him singing it, obviously. Now, and if the Spurs fans want to sing that and whatever, it's a bit of banter, it's a bit of jokes. But it is interesting dynamic when he's a guy employed by the club and he's employed to be there and singing in the stadium, and and he decided to sing that. So I look. I'm not here advocating him getting in trouble or anything. I think he does great work, and I'm really big fan of him. But I do wonder what if the club do see that video, which I'm sure they will, and what the club will they have a word with him saying, look, let's just not do that. You're an official kind of ambassador in a way of the club. You can't be seen to be seeing that kind of stuff when we're paying you in our set. So I do wonder what that conversation will look like.
Based on this, just very quickly, based on this, does this mean the club can employ me to have my own singing section and start singing songs?
Singing
yeah, I think that'd be very different.
Start singing Enoch out. Yeah, that'd be quite funny.
I can see
that happening. Spurs Express says Richarlison pictured wearing next season's leaked home kit. This was it was his birthday. I think it was his birthday yesterday or birthday weekend or something. And he was actually, I don't know where he got it from, but he got a next season's home kit and he was pictured cutting a cake with it. So I don't know if this is an indication of Richarlison being here next season. Is it a going away present for Richarlison, next season's home kit? Should it be? It's funny he's being pictured with a kit that, as an official player of the club, with a kit that hasn't been launched yet. So basically, Richarlison pretty much confirming this is going to be next season's kit as well. So a bit of a leak there, but a little funny moment there from Richarlison.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we spoke. I came on one of your fan shows and we had a discussion about Nike and their kits. I was like, make a change, do something to the home kit. Well, they have. It reminds me, like Ben said, the Kappa kit. But this is the thing. I don't get what's happening here. We find out from Brazil that Richarlison's injured. We find out from other managers, or we're not getting told injury news. But then they're leaking. I mean, Nike must be having a field day that this has got out and been. And I'm sure this happens with other football clubs. Obviously, we're paying attention with Spurs, but yeah, I think that's the only time you'll see Richarlison in that shirt. My opinion, and it may. I want to know what it says. The writing on it.
Yeah,
where is it? Happy birthday, or is it what? So if there's any Portuguese speakers that can.
You know what? I don't know what I'm.
Maybe it's happy birthday. Maybe it's happy birthday. For all we know, but you know what?
I know what it says on the shirt. Let us know. Anyone in the chat?
I think that's a nicer home kit than we've had in recent years. In all honesty, I wanted something different from it, and I got it. I won't buy it for obvious reasons, but it's something different, so I appreciate it.
It's very similar to the kit we had under Mourinho in 2021. Like those sleeves is very similar. All right, next one. I thought this was quite funny. An Arsenal account having their piss boiled. He says, Tottenham doing their end-of-season lap of honour despite still having one home game left tells you everything you need to know. They're not even counting Man City as a game left. Pathetic club. And I do appreciate the piss that it is boiling amongst Arsenal fans, given that Tottenham did their lap of honour yesterday. And now it's as if it's the pettiness we can all get behind, with Tottenham basically not even counting Tuesday as a game at this point. They're like, you know what, we're going to lose anyway. We have the season's over at this point. We're not even counting it as a game. Absolutely love it. I'm sure if we were in Arsenal fans' position, we'd be very annoyed at that. And I appreciate how much it's boiling their piss.
Do you know what is making me laugh? It's the amount of Arsenal fans that have come into the Tottenham Hotspur tweet to slate this and take the piss out of it. But then the Arsenal fans that are retweeting it is just full of the Spurs fans telling them exactly why it was done on Saturday, not on Tuesday, and showing them how stupid you are, because why are we going to do that? And of course, all the players' kids are going to be available at 10 p.m. on a school night and getting home on a... So the amount of piss is boiling from Arsenal fans retweeting how pathetic we are, and then the Spurs fans going into the Arsenal tweets saying how pathetic they are, is just the kind of banter you want to see, really, isn't it?
Absolutely fantastic. Another picture here from yesterday, Richarlison waving his flag before the game. Obviously, his flag is there near the bottom of the south stand, and it was a really nice moment at the end of the beginning of the game. Richarlison going over and getting his flag and waving it. Is that a sign? Maybe he's saying goodbye to the fans. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but that was a nice moment I thought before the game as well. Yesterday, is there anything to read into that, Brian? Do you think?
Like I said, I think it's done. But what I will say about this is whether he goes, whether he stays, I personally think he's gone. People may be divided opinion of Richarlison the player, but Richarlison the man is someone I would love to get to know. People say I'd love to spend a day with Sonny. The guy that does a lot of work for charities back in Brazil, the guy that came out about his mental health, the players seem to love him. He is a character. And for me, he will be a sore miss at Tottenham, the man. And what I will say, I've seen a lot of fans saying, do you know what? He stayed and signed every single post for every single picture, signed every single thing that was asked of him. He adores the connection he builds with fans everywhere he goes. And I would love to spend a day with him. I would love to. And if he is going like I think he is, like I said, I wish him nothing but success wherever he goes.
SVR says, still warms my heart so much every time I think about Ben choosing Sonny to be his son's godfather. And we all know that Sonny is the right person for the role. Family for real, for life. And there's Uncle Sonny with Ben Davis's son here. Lovely little moment. Always warms the heart watching Sonny just be himself, especially with his teammates' kids. He's going to be a great dad, isn't he, Sonny? But it's a great little video here from Son with his teammates' family, and he's always warms the heart.
I'll tell you what, Simon, what I will add with this, it changed for me when my sister and I became an uncle. You've become an uncle this season. And when you see things like this, it just hits your heart in a different way. I think these scenes are wonderful. I would give anything to be able to hold my niece or be with my nephews right now. So when you see things like this, it's just wonderful to see. Like I said, the kids stole the show at this lap of honour this time. And seeing Sonny, look at the love in his eyes. It's a wonderful thing to see.
Absolutely phenomenal video. Sonny on Instagram after the game said the right way to bounce back today after a couple of tough weeks. 3 points, and now we want to finish as strong as we can. We'll give everything as a team for the next 2 games. Next up, Tottenham tweeting about the Player of the Season awards. Official Supporters Club Player of the Season, One Hotspur Player of the Season, and Junior One Hotspur Player of the Season was given to Mickey van der Ven. A fine first campaign in Lily White for Mickey van der Ven. So there was him receiving his award after the game yesterday. Well deserved for what was a stellar campaign for Mickey van der Ven. Some more videos yesterday coming from the Lap of Honour. Pape asking Sonny to take pics with him and his friends. Everything can be done with just a hug, and this was a lovely moment here. Pape hugging him and Son and asking him if he could come over and take some pics. And Sonny's like, "Where? Come on, let's go take some pics." He's all for it. Of course he is. Sonny, all love with him as well all the time. Absolutely love to see it. And another great video of him meeting Mama Vic and Papa Vic, Vicario's parents, yesterday. A really heartwarming moment. You might have seen them around the Spurs stadium or in the away end sometimes. I think a lot of people have bumped into them in away ends this season. So it was a really heartwarming moment to see Vicario's parents getting some pictures with Sonny. And he's always so natural with everyone, isn't he, Sonny? And there's more examples of that.
He is. I mean, obviously, fantastic. People like this, they get pictures all the time. He's just always so happy to do things. Like you said, Stephen Vicario's parents, I think they sat quite close to us when we were at the NLD at their ground. I believe we were told we were quite close to them. It's lovely to see. I do love, regardless where we finish at the end of the season, to see the interaction between families and players. It's just so nice to see.
And Sonny's always central to it. Madison tweeted out yesterday saying, "Thanks for all your support today and for the season. Has blew me away, honestly. I'm so happy to be here and play for this club. Let's finish this season strong and be better off next year for it." Yeah, absolutely right. And as you say, Madison's little boys really did steal the show in the Lap of Honour. We might have a video of it, I'm not sure. Pierre Mohojbra on Instagram saying, 23-24 season almost coming to an end, a season with a lot of experience gained. I'll always try to push my limits no matter the circumstances. That's who I am. Today I'm no different with my family by my side. Nothing is impossible, but I always understood that hard work is down to yourself. I take this moment to say thank you to everyone who came along this year, to my teammates who pushed along every day. As long as the fans always being behind us, let's try and push until the end as always. Nice little message there from Pierre, probably his last message as a Tottenham player, I'd assume. We'll have to wait and see. Lovely moment here at the end of the game between Van der Ven and Romero. Hug there between the match winner and his more experienced teammate. Lovely little moment after the game. Paul O'Keefe says, "What a finish that is, like a seasoned number 9. Outstanding." And that was talking about, obviously, Van der Ven's goal. And here it is, you can see here, tweeted out by, I think it was Johnny H. This is his footage. But, like, it's just an incredible goal, isn't it, from Van der Ven? How he cut inside and finished it. I don't know how he's able to get the power with such a little backlift. Incredible. And obviously, look at the passion.
It really is.
And celebrate. And here's the video of Madison's son scoring a penalty in the Lap of Honour yesterday, and then doing, is this him doing the Richarlison pigeon celebration? Unbelievable moment. What a lad. Unbelievable video. Fantastic. Madison's really, I wonder if they discussed that before. That's what you're going to be doing in front of the Spurs fans. The Spurs fans were very... getting involved as well. They were participating in it. Made it a special moment for him. Tottenham tweeting, "Our goal scorers." There's a picture of Van der Ven and Porro. They're fantastic picture. Great for them to be the match winners. Picture here from Bell says, this is a meme with Son saying, "Hi Decky mate, can I have a normal pass across the face of goal, please? Ha, thanks pal." And Decky says, "F you."
I haven't seen that one. That is brilliant. That is brilliant.
Sums up the feeling around Decky at the moment. It's full time, by the way.
It is, isn't it?
Wembley. Full time 4-0 Wembley, unfortunately. Yeah, not.
Do you know what's in? What I will say with that, unlucky to the women. What I'll say with that is unlucky to the women, but what I said it before earlier. You just know that Paddy Power have a video ready to go if we win it to say the women have won something before the men, or if we lose it to say, oh God, even the women are Spursy, and you just know, unfortunately, which one's coming out now. There will be you can bet your ass there will be a Paddy Power video coming out, unfortunately. But unlucky to the ladies. Well done for getting to the final. And as we say in the men's team, there's always next year.
Exactly. Squawker says Kieran Trippier is the only defender to be directly involved in more Premier League goals this season. Pedro Porro, Tottenham's past, present, and future. Yeah, look, and that just goes to show how effective Porro is in that position. And I think he's shown everyone, the ability and the potential he does have, hasn't he, this season?
100. Like I said, obviously, you know how I felt about him at the beginning of the season at right back. Loved him as a advanced. He's the most improved player for me at the club. We're talking about players in the last year of their contracts, getting rid and selling. There's certain people that I think deserve brand new contracts and renewals. Pedro Porro is very, very high on that list. Very, very high on that list. He's brilliant.
Absolutely. Charlie Eccleshare says Postecoglou says the main reason he hasn't played Van de Ven at left back and up until now is because of the physical demands of the season and the physical issues he's had earlier in the season. So kind of sounds like he wanted to avoid Van de Ven getting another kind of hamstring injury, which is the reason he didn't play.
Do you know what? Now you hear it, it makes complete sense. We know how demanding that left back role is. We know how vital Van de Ven is. So yeah, for me, it makes perfect sense to not want to risk him getting injured. To me, he's pivotal to our defence and the team.
And I think that's it. That's all we're going to go through. So that is reacts. That's how the internet did react to the win yesterday against Burnley. And I think that's all we got time for on the stream. Nearly 2.5 hours. So a very long one. Let's now turn our attentions to Man United and hope they can do us a favour against Arsenal at Old Trafford as we speak. But Brian, really appreciate your time as always, mate. Appreciate you coming and giving your time for the stream. Go check out Tottenham on Tour if you don't know where to find Brian. Brian, let people know what's going on Tottenham on Tour over the next few weeks.
Yes, cheers, buddy. Cheers, buddy. As you know, when it comes to you and Ben, if ever I am available and you need me, I will always be here for you guys. Thanks for having me on. Everyone in the chat, have a great rest of your Sunday. Yeah, Tottenham on Tour. Monday through Friday, there is normally morning brews with Ben Kaufman and Dave. I am trying to do a few more pre-recorded bits, but I will be about to do the reactions from Scotland Yard if I'm well enough. And obviously Anger Management the day after match day. So you can find us at Tottenham on Tour.
Nice one, Brian. Appreciate you as always, mate. Thank you, everyone in the chat, for interacting with the stream. And all the clips will be out in due course. But appreciate everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Up the Man United, apart from the FA Cup final, obviously. Not up the Man United for the women's team, but up Man United now against Arsenal. Let's hope they can do us a favour. Look. Appreciate everyone out there. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.